Anyone can make a weld look good on the surface, but the real test is when we look inside that joint. Today we're welding a MIG T-fillet, then we're going to be cutting it open and macro testing it to reveal the penetration and fusion inside the joint. We're going to go through the setup, welding techniques, and finally break down the macro etch results to see how the weld actually performed. When people weld T-fillet joints, one of the biggest problems that's commonly seen in the industry is getting penetration all the way through the root of the weld. A lot of the time that comes down to either the torch angle being slightly off or not putting enough heat into the joint. We've got to remember that we're going through two solid surfaces here. There's no prep on it, so it's got to get through the thickness of the material, which is why penetration is sometimes hard to do. So for all of our runs today, we're turning up the heat a bit. We're running at 25 volts with a wire speed of 10 meters per minute, which is roughly 394 inches per minute, and our aim with this run is to maintain a 45-degree push angle directly into the corner where the two plates meet. If we've done everything correctly, we should have a straight, consistent weld throughout the joint, but the real test will come later when we cut and macro etch the weld. So now we're moving on to run 2 of this free run fillet weld. With this pass, the torch angle becomes even more important because we're no longer just focusing on the root of the joint. This time we're aiming to wash into roughly half of the previous run while still maintaining fusion into the bottom plate as well. It's all about controlling where the heat is going. If the angle starts drifting or the travel speed changes too much, the weld profile can quickly become uneven and the fusion won't stay consistent throughout the joint. So just like the first run, we're focusing on keeping a steady travel speed and a consistent torch angle. This should help us maintain equal leg lengths along the weld and keep penetration and fusion consistent the entire way through. If we get this second run right, it should leave us with a clear guide to follow for the third and final run. So now we're on to the third and final run of the fillet weld. For this pass we need to adjust the torch angle again, this time pointing it more upwards towards the top of the joint. The goal here is to basically mirror the second weld, just in a different position on the joint. At this stage we also have to start working with gravity. Because the weld is building higher up into the joint, the molten pool naturally wants to drop downwards, so the torch angle has to become slightly sharper to keep that puddle controlled and directed where we want it. Just like in the previous runs, consistency is everything here. Keeping a steady travel speed and maintaining the same torch angle throughout should help keep your weld profile even and the fusion consistent all along the joint. Now that the third run is complete, we can see the weld looks good on the surface, it's neat, consistent, and the profile looks even all the way through. But the surface appearance only tells part of the story. Now we're going to carry out a macro etch test by cutting the weld in half, then linishing the face of the material to prepare the surface for inspection. Once this is done, we add Nital reagent, which will highlight the welded area and allow us to clearly see what the penetration and fusion looks like inside the joint. And what the macro etch test does is it allows us to look inside the weld that we can't see from the surface. And this is a common method which is used to code welders. On screen now we're moving on to something slightly more challenging. We're going to complete a MIG welding butt weld and finish it off with another common testing method, the bend test. It's one not to be missed. As always, thanks for watching and we'll see you over there.